Acrophobia at Six Flags Over Georgia is one of the world's best drop towers. It also happens to be one of the scariest, and that's because of this ride's seating, or lack thereof. You have stand-up, floorless gondolas. If that's not crazy enough, you also tilt at the top. Let's dive into this review of Acrophobia. Six Flags Over Georgia opened Acrophobia in 2001. This was actually the park's second drop tower. This Atlanta park was already home to Freefall, an Intamin first-generation drop tower, but the park removed that antiquated ride after the 2006 season. Acrophobia made Freefall redundant. Acrophobia was taller, wilder, and offered superior capacity. Also built by Intamin, Acrophobia stands 200 feet or 61 meters tall. While the full tower is 20 stories tall, the drop itself is only 161 feet or 49 meters tall. But because of the ride's placement towards the front of Six Flags Over Georgia and the park's topography, the ride feels much taller and it offers an incredible view of all the park's attractions plus the surrounding area. And the ride has a pretty striking multicolored paint scheme. The paint may be faded, but the coloring reminds me of a venomous snake, which is an apt comparison given how much bite this ride has. The ride has no theming outside of some signage in the queue line discussing the fear of heights. But that's fine because you will not be in that queue line for very long. This has always been a walk-on for me when it's operational, and according to queue times, on average, it has one of the shortest waits of any major ride in the park. Part of that is the fact this ride holds up to 30 riders per cycle, which is pretty high for a drop tower. But if you see this ride running, and it is a priority for you, I'd advise riding it as soon as possible. This ride has been closed in half my visits to Six Flags Over Georgia. If I've been unlucky, let me know down in the comments. That may partially be explained because of how Acrophobia was a prototype. This was Intamin's first floorless tilting Gyro-Drop tower. Intamin had previously built two Gyro-Drop towers. These towers were easily identified by their circular seating around the tower and the rotating seats. This gave everyone a 360-degree view during the ascent. Acrophobia borrowed this element, but it drastically changed the ride vehicles. Acrophobia would become the world's first stand-up floorless drop tower. If you're wondering how that works, you back into this seat that is steeply angled downwards, so it is impossible to sit on it. You are then basically straddling a bike seat. It's weird, but I don't take an issue with the setup for as short of a ride as Acrophobia it is. But this is probably a ride I wouldn't want to get stuck on. You are then secured with an over-the-shoulder restraint. And then you also have the tilt feature. This was another first for Acrophobia. This was the world's first tilting drop tower. Intamin would add the same model to Movie Park Germany in 2002, but that was the only other one built. Intamin would add the stand-up floorless and tilt feature to some of their second-generation freefall towers. Some, like Apocalypse at Drayton Manor, were retrofit to get these features. Others, like Hurricane Condor at Port Aventura, were built with the feature. Once locked in, you slowly ascend the tower. You perform one complete rotation on the way up, and once at the top, your seats lean forwards. You may only tilt 15 degrees forwards, but that's more than enough to completely change the dynamics of the ride. It forces you to look down for the entire descent, making the drop even more intense. The suspense for the drop is incredible. The employees like to come over speakers and taunt you. Sometimes they tease you about the ride's height. Other times, they'll just sing Justin Bieber to you. There's no rhyme or reason what you'll hear, but it just adds to the tension. And there's no real warning for the drop. It just happens, and it is very intense. You get a gut-wrenching stomach-dropping sensation the entire way down. Then you have that world-class visual as you zoom towards the ground. I always end up clenching my teeth and holding on with a death grip. Part of that is because the ride tricks you into thinking you'll splatter on the ground. The ride has ultra-reliable magnetic brakes, and you stop very close to the ground. The other part of that is related to the ride position. Even though I've ridden this ride a dozen or so times, and I know it doesn't hurt me, I still have that primal fear in the back of my head that my crotch is going to get squished on the landing. Remember, you are straddling a bike seat with no floor, so the first point of contact is your groin. I know a few people who find this ride to be a ball buster, so I'm not sure if it comes down to luck or how you fit with the restraints, but I personally have no issue with it, which is why I can enjoy this drop tower. So what would I rate Acrophobia? I would give this drop tower a perfect 10 out of 10. This is one of the world's best drop towers and pure thrills. It is the full package. It has incredible views, lots of suspense, and an incredible drop. It is fast and forceful, while also providing top-notch visuals because of the tilt. And that weird riding position only amplifies the thrills further. Intamin has further evolved this concept with their Skyjump model, which tilts riders a full 90 degrees towards the ground, with the first and most notable being Falcon's Fury at Busch Gardens Tampa. Now, I think most people prefer the Skyjumps, but I actually prefer Acrophobia. Sure, you don't tilt a full 90 degrees, but you still tilt more than enough to be staring at the ground. The stand-up floorless seating on Acrophobia is way more intimidating. And most importantly, the drop on Acrophobia packs way more of a punch. It induces that accelerating freefall sensation. So those are my thoughts on Acrophobia at Six Flags Over Georgia. What are your thoughts on this world-class drop tower? Do you enjoy this ride as much as me? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.